The greatest YMCA player in NBA history, Alperen Sengun. This dude is a local legend at the YMCA, schooling people with his bobbing post-up moves and hanging out with springier younglings in Florida. He's like the whirling dervish of the court, spinning and grinding his way towards the basket like a bizarro version of Nikola Jokic. And don't even get me started on his signature move, the soft push shot. It's like he's shot putting the ball in the net from short range. We think he's the best, so today's video is gonna be all about this beast, the greatest YMCA player in NBA history, Alperen Sengun. And without any further ado, let's get started. Sengun can really load up, square himself, and just flick it into the net like it's nothing. The only problem is, this move doesn't have much range, which means Sengun's scoring outside the paint is a bit limited, so every once in a while he'll bust out a more traditional set shot. But you know what's even better than his 8-inch hop off the floor? The fact that he never really extends his arm when shooting it, like he's playing on a Nerf hoop or something. But despite his limitations, Sengun still gets that bounce, baby. And who knows, maybe one day he'll expand his range and become the king of the court. Alperen Sengun is like a time traveller from the 50s, using all these old school moves to school players in the modern era. It's like he's got this old man game that's just unstoppable in pickup games. He's hopping around at his own speed, pulling off these unorthodox shots that leave defenders scratching their heads. I mean, just look at this play. He catches the ball and starts shimmying his shoulders like he's revving the engines. Then he starts corkscrewing his way into the paint, gets stuck and makes the eyes emoji at his teammate like he's about to pass, only to fake a behind the back pass to absolutely no one, and all that just to miss a short hook shot. But here's the thing, Sengun isn't the complete scorer that Jokic is. If he's not shot putting the ball, he doesn't really have any mid-range game, so he's not a dangerous pick and pop weapon, and he doesn't punish sagging defenders. But you know what he is? He's really freaking hard to guard in space. All those schoolyard moves around the basket make him a nightmare for defenders. His game is mostly ground bound. With his centre of gravity over the middle of his body, he'll use little ball fakes to manipulate more vertical defenders and even up fake the push shot, although it's slow and deliberate. And when these defences go nowhere, he just turns his back and goes to work with some more old man moves, like bouncing into the defender's outside shoulder to create space to jump 8 inches off the ground. And since he's brought across the chest with a lower centre of gravity, he can power through players at angles like this. Plus he's strong enough to chisel his way closer to the rim, where he can protect the ball and finish with authority. So even though he may not have Jokic's range or finesse, you've got to give Sengun credit for grinding his way closer to the hoop like a true 1950s baller. I mean, is there a cloning machine out there that we don't know about? How could Sengun and Jokic be so eerily similar in their passing and scoring? Maybe they're secretly twins separated at birth, who knows? But one thing for sure, Sengun has studied Jokic's every move like a hawk, stalking its prey. It's like watching a tribute band playing all the hits of a legendary artist, and you can't help but nod your head in approval. And speaking of head nods, Sengun got some serious ball fakes that make defenders look like bobbleheads on a dashboard. He'll twist and bend his ankles in every possible direction, shielding the ball with his arm like a Jedi Master protecting a lightsaber. And don't even get me started on those spin moves. It's like watching a ballet dancer pirouette around defenders, leaving them dizzy and disorientated. Sengun's feet are so light and bouncy, it's like he's walking on clouds or maybe on trampolines. He'll finish with either hand, throwing up that arm off shot to keep blockers at bay like a matador waving a cape at a charging bull. And when he needs to, he'll even throw a shot put pass, loading up for his little push shot and freezing defenders in their tracks. But let's not forget about Jokic's connection. Sengun's been a Jokic fanboy since he was a mere 14 years old, studying his idol's every move, like a mad scientist in a lab. And it shows in his passing game where he mimics Jokic's vision, creativity and delivery angles to a T. If you squint your eyes and sit far enough away, you might mistake Sengun for Jokic. On some of these passes, it's like they're two peas in a pod. Looks like Alpi is a bit of a trickster out on the court. He's dropping it through legs and going 5 holes on defenders like he's playing hockey. And his behind the back passes are so wild that opposing defenders are left looking like they just saw a magic trick. But let's not get carried away, he's not quite at the level of Joker when it comes to consistent vision. Sometimes he overthinks an easy pass, and he's a few inches shorter so he can't quite make those easy passes over the top like Joker can. And let's be real, not all of his bold ideas come to fruition. I mean, staring at the baseline for so long that it tips off Kevin Herder, that's some next level deception, but maybe he needs to work on the execution a fair bit. Sengun's transition game is like a ride at an amusement park. You never know what you're going to get. It's a wild journey with him galloping down the court, attempting lobs that end up in the 5th row and Euro stepping his way into behind the back passes. When he loses the ball, he's not sure if it's illegal or not, so he just decides to bulldoze his way to the basket. But you have to give him credit, he's got some unique moves up his sleeve. Who else can grab a rebound and pin it to the floor like it's a wrestling match, and then spin the ball around his back just to pass it back to himself? It's like he's playing a game of keep away with himself. But let's talk about his speed for a second. He's like a turtle running through the molasses. It's a good thing he's got some serious ball handling skills because he's not outrunning anyone. And when he does a sprint, it's like he's carrying a parachute on his back. Watching Sengun in transition is like watching a live action cartoon. You never know what's going to happen next, but you can be sure it'll be entertaining. Ah yes, the magic orb free throw routine, where the ball is treated like a long lost lover. But let's get serious for a moment because there are some real concerns about Sengun's defense. He's not exactly known for his explosive athleticism, and he can be a bit soft when protecting the rim. According to Second Spectrum, he's not terrible on defense, but he'll need to step it up if he wants to survive in the playoffs. In this play, he's a little late and can barely get off the ground, which is not exactly the verticality of a traditional big man. And when he's in help defense, he can be a bit non-committal, relying on his teammates to step up instead. But let's not forget that Houston is running one of the most bizarre pick and roll coverages out there. They drop Alperen way off and slide a third defender over to help him on the ball like they're playing some sort of pickup game. And on this play, Alperen is just stuck in the post, looking for someone to cut into the open space. Unfortunately, no one does, leaving him visibly baffled. It looks like Sengun is a bit of a defensive work in progress. He's not exactly a rim protector, but his lack of explosive athleticism and struggles with agility. But hey, at least he's learning and trying his best to guard those NBA quality bigs. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good underdog story? Maybe Sengun can surprise us all and become a neutral defender, or even better, a defensive powerhouse. But let's not forget about his offensive skills, because dang, this guy can ball. According to Second Spectrum, Houston's offense with Sengun involves some of the most efficient in the league, and who wouldn't want to orbit around his high-level playmaking? He's like a less polished version of Sabonis, which is still pretty damn impressive. So can Sengun add an outside shooting dimension to his game and take his offense to the next level? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, he's already one of the most creative and entertaining players to come along in a long time. Keep on shining, Sengun. We hope you enjoyed the presentation of the greatest YMCA player in the NBA history. Now we want to hear from you, what do you think about him? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more NBA content and analysis. Until next time, keep following your favourite teams and players, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace.